good afternoon to everyone. A quick check. How many of you from agency background now? Agency folks? And how many from brands? Okay, right. And how many of those who put their hands up from agency background started their career from an independent agency? Okay, almost 30-40%, right? Okay, first and foremost, thank you very much, Naval, for calling me and asking me to talk about it. So today it's my experiences I'm going to narrate today. One disclaimer here, 2006 when I started, I didn't get up and say that I want to build the big independent network. No, entrepreneurs don't start that way. What I generally thought that there is a problem, okay, let's solve it. And I'll take you through my learnings over the years and learnings, I don't know how it works. Am I making mistake? No, it's not working. Okay, till as such time they solve the. You want me to do that? Take that? Yeah, sure. Okay, so today's topic is the making of an independent network. You know what? One thing we always, as an entrepreneur, one thing we always aspire to have that growth, that scale. And all of us also knows is that along with the scale comes lots of inability to be agile, right? And we probably over the years, we create that monster. Now, the whole learning today is that how to scale, keeping the magic without creating the monster. So, as I was talking about, is that every day morning as an entrepreneur, I get up and I try to solve a problem. One of the most critical thing that I try to understand is how the world has changed, right? And I think it may sound very cliched, okay, but definitely the rules of marketing changing very rapidly. I'm quite sure all those people who raise their hands from the agency background as well as the brands one, they would realize the amount of changes which have happened in last probably last few quarters, I would say. Of course, there is a change has been for a longer time, but it's been changing a lot. In my 29 years of career, I didn't start as a advertising or a marketing professional. Started as a technology guy, worked for almost 12 years with companies like Tata Consulting Services. A lot of background on that, but saw a lot of technological changes. But believe me, last few quarters, the amount of changes that I have been seeing, it's truly at different scale. Every day morning, probably when I get up and I'm sitting on my toilet seat and looking into what's changed, and my flipboard, I'm flipping it out, something or the other which is new, and it triggers my mind in terms of what probably has to be how to be done. Okay, so what are the 3 important changes which, as of today, in my space that I'm seeing? Okay, the humongous acceleration of tech. Almost I've been listening to Dabjit, even I was listening to it, I was looking into how much of tech involved into making those things happen, right? Okay, so amount of changes in tech is such a humongously high. Probably this is the time wherein every day there's something or the other happening, right? Okay, from the LLMs to various, the way you have sort of launched Spotlight today, right? So tech acceleration is happening. Another one is Another one is from the brand side, and those who are brand people here, we also see the brands are taking things in-house. Okay, that's a second change. Okay, for multiple reasons. It could be they want to have more control, they want it to be more nimble, they want to be more cost-effective. But that's a trend that I definitely see, and that sort of threatens our existence as an agency there, right? And the third one is the whole construct on which money used to be made by the agency folks, those who are from the agency one. Media was the largest size and largest money-making engine, and everything else probably was thrown into as a free one when we interact with the brand. I'm talking about my side of the story. Probably there are new agencies who are trying to build stories much beyond that. But these are the three important aspects that I see, right? And who dominated over the times. Okay, when I was a small little, 30, 50, 100, 200, 300 people team, I always in the awe of those big holdcos for their scale, right? And it's a scale, the big is beautiful, right? With that scale, we could aspire to get a mid-sized brand, but if I really have to go to a big brand like an LIC or a Unilever, Tejas was there, right? It was always they will choose for someone who is with a scale, right? But that seems to be now a bit of shaky. Okay, along with the scale comes with a lot of inflexibility. Probably they are a bit too away from what's happening. I'm not demeaning the large holdcos here. I have humongous amount of respect for them, and probably every day I'll look into what they are doing and try to learn a lot about it. But scale not necessarily be the only factor for brands to decide. Okay, that's what my feeling is. Second was the integration. The narrative which is getting talked about now is that the media, traditional plus digital, is what integration is. Okay, but when I step back and see the problems which probably boards are trying to solve, wherein they are trying to say that how do I use digital as a catalyst for the growth, and if that gets talked about, then what about other aspects beyond media? So that's something probably I see could be a problem, where there are multiple different units that they have acquired as a to enhance their EBIT or profitability or top line. It becomes a bit of difficult for them to integrate that, right? Now the third one, okay, all of us see is that the global footprints that they have. Okay, I have done something in North America, I can do something good in India. Okay, so those are the aspects which we always fought around a few years back. But now I see is that it also adds a lot of overheads for the holdcos, right? Acquisition strategy, amount of it started probably in 1985 and 86 onwards. A humongous amount of there are holdcos who would have acquired hundreds of small boutique companies there, and what we see is that the problem which has happened is that the very fact that those companies have grown with a specific skill set because of the culture that they have, probably it becomes very difficult for us to integrate that. Okay, so that's something that my learning is. And the data control. Okay, probably one can always say that since I understand humongous amount of third party earlier, I will be able to do a better media planning, buying and optimization. But probably that's something which has been sort of shadowed by the first party data which the client has. Okay, so these are the 4 or 5 things that I saw it happening, and when we tried to build it, I looked into what are the, as an independent network, what are the things that I get to the table, or what are the things which we have as a positive one there, right? So passion. Okay, every customers that I would have interacted with, okay, so the amount of passion that I have, when I say me and my team, okay, just to win the business, to retain the business, to do something good. There are certain brands that I have worked here very closely. Okay, their business growth becomes my KPIs, and we work with it. Okay, but along with that happens is that when you become a bit bigger one, okay, the moment you start crossing the limit of around 300 to 400 people, okay, how do I replicate that passion for every person that I have at the last, the new trainee would have joined into it. Okay, so that's something. The very fact that I could sell it from the passion perspective probably becomes a problem later on when the client contact doesn't seem to see the same passion, right? Client centricity is something which independent agencies really value a lot, because they are interacting with the client, understanding their problems and probably solving it. But what happens is that as we grow, then that can get a bit diluted, possibly, right? Okay, so that's a problem probably we'll have to solve when we try to get a big independent network agency that way, right? Third one is the differentiation is very unique expertise, that we believe in. Okay, if you see even our portfolio, every company that we have, okay, in the group, comes with a very specialized services. But what happens is there is the addressable market could be limited by that skill set that they have, right? Okay, so how do I make sure that that becomes something part of the bigger deals for my customers, right? And the last, and I have seen it happening, is that when client signs up with us, as Prasad, as any one of the independent here sitting here, is that they sign up because Prasad comes or that X person comes for the pitch, and they have an access to the brain of the independent agency head, right? And that is get valued a lot. But when we start growing that way, how do I actually keep that? It is not possible because we only have 365 days and 24 hours in a day, right? Okay, so these are the problems that I thought of, how to solve, right? Then the core question is that how do I, when I'm trying to sort of scale, now we are around 1,200 people, how do I retain that magic and still, not create that monster and scale with all the positives that we have, right? So these are some of my learnings here. Again, these learnings keep, there is one pointer I added yesterday itself. So it is, evolving very, very, very fast. But one thing that I realize is that not copying the holdcos, and again, humongous respect for holdcos, but not copying their playbook. Okay, one of the playbook is that now with the size that we are, our ability to pick up private equity money, to go after and pick up for top line and EBIT is easier one. But something that probably I learned, shouldn't be done, because the moment I do it, the whole aspects of cultural, putting together different teams together as a culture one could be a problem one. Okay, so don't copy it. Okay, so build something new. So what is that playbook which we have done? Okay, there are three things that I realize. Okay, never acquire for EBIT, acquire for skills. And those are the complementary skills. If in your portfolio you have something which is unique, okay, don't unless it is unique, don't take it in. Okay, that's something which I'm very, very clear about, and I'm going to show how we have implemented in our network also, right? Second one is that hybrid structure. Okay, so it's a very interesting one, okay, because me as I always try to put when I put myself into, if I were acquired by a network company, right, a big holdco company, right, what are the things probably I wouldn't like, okay? The very fact that I am passionate and I can make things do, I want my independence. But just imagine if we have all those 6, 7, 8 companies in the independent holdcos with a lot of independence, it wouldn't work, okay? Intuitively it wouldn't work, right, okay? But how do I do it with that hybrid model? Okay, and I'm going to sort of take you through how we have done it also to that. Okay, but how do I get that hybrid model wherein you have different P&Ls at the same time? There's a horizontal structure which sort of helping. Okay, so there are certain learnings which we have from the biggest systems integration companies in the world too. And the third one is the business that you pick up. Right, sometimes you have to say, it's very easy to say in a tough situations like this now when economy is slow, but still that makes a lot of difference. One big mistake of choosing a customer can drain your energy, your team's energy, their morale, and probably it can affect your P&L also, right? Okay, so staying focused that way, these are the three things that things that we worked on, right? Okay, so what we did is one thing is every group company which came in, the first thing that we looked for is ability of that founder to understand the culture of the group, culture of everyone else, and make sure that where do we see the common ground, right? So if you see in our portfolio also, every company has their own culture, but all of us meet and say that this is the common culture of the group, right? So that everyone accepts. Again, very difficult one, okay, but it takes around 3 odd quarters, okay, to get the agency folk, the other group company to on board, right? But that seems to be working pretty well. So I never say that this is the culture of the group, this is the culture that you have to follow, but we have a creative team with a lot of different way of working in their offices. But when they come together as a group, I think they follow some of the four values and culture points that we have, right? And that has again debated and next month I'm going along with everyone and trying to say that has it changed? Do we have to do something else for it, right? Another one is I think the 1,200 people that we have. It comes from again my background in Tata's, right? Okay, wherein generally a resource with the skill gets a limited amount of opportunities to grow into that particular vertical, and he may have some flair in terms of doing something else in some other department too, right? So one thing that we always do is that centralize building. We have every alternate Fridays we have what's new, wherein all the PHs and RHs, account manager and senior mid-level people, they two amongst us present what's new, right, from multiple different services offering that, and that's been helping so much for us because the group understand what are the great stuff that people are doing that way, right? So that's a talent development part of it. Then when Langur came our way, if you know some of the companies that we have as a part of the portfolio, they came with a lot of technology background, okay? Someone who has worked in technology for many years. How do I get him involved at the group level to use the technology, right? So everything, his job is to make sure that what's new and how a creative can be changed with technology, or a media can be changed with technology, or UX can be changed with the technology, right? So get that horizontal across the group seems to be working pretty well. We seem to have launched some of the products because of this thought process, right? And then of course anywhere in the resources deployment can be anywhere in the network, right? So that comes from the internal systems that we have. How do I actually make it to go in the market? So there are what my realization here, I mean, those who are trying to build the independent networks here, is that we are very good at selling vertical solutions, right? If someone goes and says that I want to have a creative social media agency, one can go and do it, okay? But what happens is that there are, as a group, selling the integrated solutions is a very different. My learning there has been very difficult that way, because the market doesn't take me as a competition to probably Accenture, now Accenture Song I was about to say, but Accenture. So how do I do it? Okay, so we have a combination of the people who said sell point solution and vertical solutions. At the same time, a small bit of people who sell horizontal solutions, right? Okay, so I call it air cover, right? Okay, so I do it, and then probably someone from the vertical has to come and sell it, okay? So it's a very, I learned that by mistake. Almost I wasted almost 5 quarters around 3 years back just to put everyone, only one centralized sales team and work onto it, but it didn't work, right? So it's a combination of that. Market the network brand. The very fact that probably, Naval, thank you very much, I'm standing here, is that how do I market the LS Digital, which is a more of a holding brand than, let's say, a Social Punk as a creative, or a Langur as a CX, or a LS Media as a media, or as a media division of ours. Okay, so that seems to be working very well, at least with Indian market and Dubai and the UK market that we are into now, right? And the third one is the proprietary products. Now, what I realized is that we are into services, right? We are not a product company. So how do I get I was talking to Shraddha some time back here also, is that the DNA of ours is services, not the product, right? So how do I get the combination of putting services around the product is something that has to be solved. Every company will have their own way of working onto it, right? So what our journey, okay, just to say that, I mean, there are multiple points that I have talked about, but how did we implement it? Okay, so if you see here, this is where we sort of realize where we are. In the left side there are all technology guys, systems integrators and technology people. They are trying to go towards right side with acquisitions of creative agencies and so on and so forth. On the right side you have all the creative and media, and they're trying to acquire media tech companies and trying to integrate that, right? We stand right in middle there. Okay, so this is what my understanding is, and this is what we are trying to build. How did we build it? Okay, so there are 6 services that we have, from media to creative to data and insights to CX to UX and technology. If you see all the logos here, Social Panga is from creative, LS is from media, Langur is from tech and CX, and F1 Studios is from UX, and some part of its tech is from Langur, and Data Quark is from the data division. Okay, so we seem to have put together a network of companies with specialized skills comes under one DBT, Digital Business Transformation as a Service. So this is the same one, across what we do, and this is what we have done. I talked about it. Now, so my learning here from my learning here as of now is the true integration will happen only if we have this sets of 4 to 5 companies coming together as a consulting one and provide solutions. At the same time, all the verticals have to have a P&L. These are all two conflicting statements a lot, because I face it every time, because every vertical has their own P&L. But at the same time, if we have I am still struggling on that, okay, but if you need to have at the group level numbers for everyone, it still works, and there are certain benefits that everyone gets from that perspective, right? Okay, and of course, yeah, everyone has to have that culture of long-term vision. Okay, all of us are aligned to create the value and probably become the next big story, right? This is what it is. A final thought: a true future doesn't belong to the biggest player, but probably it's an agile and collaborative and client-centric one culture, and that is what we are doing. Okay, so this is what we are. Work in progress. Time's up also. Work in progress. Till now it's been a good journey. Let's see how it works. We'll be here. Yeah, thank you.